Thanos! This is the time where I prove that I am better than all the Avengers members combined. There is nothing about you that I fear. No, not the snapping fingers. I've got too many favorite chimichanga makers for you to eliminate half of them. My life will have no meaning after that. Please, have mercy.
Does he know that Thanos is using the wrong hand to snap his fingers?
I don't think so, but let's see how long this sucker will fall for it.
I'll do anything. I'll wash your tent. I'll even wipe your bottom for you.
What a great start to the new year.
Please, not my chimichanga makers. Hello and welcome back to the KenOhwee Channel. Happy New Year! It's 2019. More figures to come, so better start saving up. And I'm starting the year with a video of a figure I've been hunting down since late 2018 and is finally in my hands. S.H Figuarts Thanos. Not sure if it's still relevant, but it's a figure I really wanted to talk about since last year, hence this video. So without further ado, let's take a closer look at the Mad Titan. Taking a closer look at Thanos, and I'm not sure what it is about S.H Figuarts and their color palette, but it's either a hit or miss, and I'd say this figure was more of a miss, as he appears more bluish than his movie counterpart. Of course not as blue as the first Marvel Legends figure, but still on the blue side. Purple S.H Figuarts, why are you afraid of putting on purple? Gold highlights as usual from S.H Figuarts painting team. Gold. Gold everywhere. They really love highlighting their golds.
I love gold!
Even the gauntlet, which is shown as copper-like color in the movie, is painted in shiny gold. And the Infinity Stones are translucent material, and depending on the lighting, 3 of those stones do look like they're the same color. So I wish they were more distinct in their color separation, but at least it is nicely sculpted, as so is the rest of the figure. They however did miss out on the detail here on his armor, which would have looked more accurate, but at least they got the sculpt on his chin right. As Star-Lord said,
I'm gonna blow that nutsack of a chin right off your face.
Though I wouldn't put a picture of that as a comparison, as I know it'll immediately demonetize this video, but it paints a pretty picture in your head, doesn't it? All jokes aside, the face sculpt is actually really nice. He looks extremely menacing, and I felt they captured the likeness very well. There's a hint of Josh Brolin in there somewhere, and the rest of his muscles are sculpted really nicely. Not too big, but still as muscular. So overall, I'd say this is a nice looking Thanos figure, sculpt wise, but it's not as accurate, sadly. Head and neck on the ball joint, so he can twist his head technically, but his chin clashes with the hard collar on his suit. But he can pivot side to side a little, and he can look up that far, and he can look down that far. Armpit which can move around, and he can also be pushed outwards that far, not much apparently. Arms on the ball joint as well, so 360 no problem. Outwards that much. Swivel on the arm to replace the absent bicep twist, which is always a disappointment for me. Double jointed elbow, wrists can move up and down and twist. Mid and lower ab cut, so twist king in the middle and at the bottom. Side to side pivot, mostly contributed by the upper ab. He can arch backwards a little, but he has barely an ab crunch, which is really sad. All that Infinity Stones, but he can't do an ab crunch. Might want to consider his priorities. Legs can be pushed down, side flaps which is soft plastic to allow more room for his split. And one thing to point out with this figure, and it may only happen with my figure, sometimes when you do the split it may result in your Thanos figure suddenly having really loose legs. And I found out that doing the split pushes the leg ball joint out of the socket, which is why it became really loose, so all I needed to do was push the legs back in and it's back to being tight. It's definitely a hassle, and it could be a flaw in the figure design, and if no one else has this problem, then good on you. Kick up that far, kick back that far, single jointed knee bend, feet can only twist side to side that much, move up and down, pivot side to side a little, and of course, toe curlers. He comes equipped with the really fierce look, another where he smiles after he snaps his fingers, another phase when he realized that his math of wiping half of the entire species was inaccurate, but I'm no mathematician myself, so what do I know. As for his hands, he comes with face-punching hands, a pair of hands to choke people, another pair of hands to grab people, and one hand to snap his fingers. And I wish they also gave the snapping fingers for the gauntlet hand, because this was the snapping hand used for his explanation of his evil scheme to Doctor Strange, and not the actual hand that'll do the damage, which is supposed to be the hand with the gauntlet, and they didn't give us that. Come on, Bandai, don't just watch the trailers alone and run with a figure without understanding the big picture, which I'm guessing that is why this happened. Would it have hurt to give us a pair of snapping fingers? Then at least I could make him do the snapping fingers dance. I guess maybe that's why. And here is the Mad Titan standing next to other figures for scale comparison. So, in summary, wonderfully sculpted figure, not quite as accurate in terms of color configuration, and sadly, limited ab articulation, and is disappointing especially when they can give an ab crunch to a much bulkier figure such as the Hulk, but not him. But I still say this figure puts a big smile on my face. Would this figure have made it to the top 10 best action figure list of 2018? I still think that there are plenty of inaccuracies and hindered articulation on this figure that prevents this figure from being in the top 10, unfortunately. Better luck this year if they ever release a new S.H Figuarts Thanos figure. That concludes my review of this figure, and I'm glad I got it off my list. Now on to crossing out my other list from 2018, and hope you'll stay tuned for all that. If you enjoyed today's episode, do hit that like button and subscribe if you're new for more reviews in the future. If you'd like to support this channel directly, please consider donating on Patreon, as it'll help me much further. Once again, thank you all very much for watching. Share with me your thoughts about this figure in the comment section down below, and I hope you're all having an amazing New Year week, and I'll see you guys at the next video. Click here for video 1. Click here for video 2. Click here to subscribe. Click it. Thank you for watching. Arigato. Thank you.